Hi, I'm Doug Foster. In honor of Black History Month, this is the story of Rube Foster, my great uncle. Andrew Rube Foster, a dominant baseball pitcher, also excelled as a manager and then as an executive, earning him the nickname the father of black baseball. Foster grew up in Texas and began his pitching career in 1897 for the Fort Worth Yellow Jackets. By 1902, Rube won 44 games in a row for the Philadelphia Cuban ex-Giants. In 1911, Rube partnered with John Schroling, bringing the Chicago American Giants, an all-black baseball team, to the South Side. Foster created the Negro National League in 1920. He was named president and treasurer of the National Negro Baseball League, winning the National Negro League Championship 4 times in 1920 through 1922 and in 1926. Foster was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1981, making him the first representative of the Negro Leagues elected as a pioneer or executive. Thanks for learning about my great uncle.
I'm Joyce Stearns Thompson. In honor of Black History Month, this is the story of Turkey Stearns, my father. One of the Negro League's most feared offensive hitters, Norman Turkey Stearns, was also one of the first prolific hitters in the Negro Leagues. Stearns hit over 300 for 14 of his 19 seasons playing in the Negro Leagues. The Nashville native center fielder was a 5-tool player and 5-time All-Star in the Negro League's East-West All-Star Classic. Stearns led the Negro National League in batting average twice and stole 129 bases during his career. He also led his league in home runs 7 times, including his final season for the 1940 Kansas City Monarchs, when he played with fellow Negro League legends Satchel Paige and Buck O'Neil. Thanks for learning a little bit more about my father.
Hi, I'm Deborah Richards. In honor of Black History Month, this is the story of Ted Radcliffe, my great uncle. Ted Double Duty Radcliffe was a two-way player in the Negro Leagues, serving on both sides of the battery as pitcher and catcher. In 1932, Ted was given the nickname Double Duty by a newspaper columnist for his tenure at both positions during a doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. As a child in Alabama, Ted and his brothers played and learned the game of baseball using a taped ball of rags with their friends. Radcliffe's first baseball opportunity came as a semi-pro player with the Illinois Giants, where he made $50 for every 15 games and was given 50 cents per day for meal money. Working his way up in 1928, Radcliffe signed with the Detroit Stars of the Negro National League. He served as the premier catcher until 1929, when the pitching staff was hit by injuries late in the season and needed a fresh arm. Ted Radcliffe was one of the few baseball players to live past his 100th birthday, impacting the game of baseball for far more than a lifetime. Thanks for learning about my great uncle.
I'm Sean Gibson to tell you about Josh Gibson, my great-grandfather.
Hi, my name is Brian Patterson. This is the story of Buck Leonard, my grandfather.
Gibson, known as the Black Babe Ruth, was a 12-time All-Star, 3-time Negro League batting champion, and 2-time Triple Crown winner. Served majority of his career behind the plate and batted in tandem and in front of Buck Leonard.
Walter Buck Leonard was a first baseman and one half of the most feared batting twosomes in the Negro League. Gibson and Leonard led the Homestead Braves to 4 consecutive appearances in the Negro League Series.
Together, they were known as the Thunder Twins for Pittsburgh throughout the mid-1930s and 40s. Gibson became the second Negro League baseball player inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Joining him in the Hall of Fame was the 3rd Negro League player to ever be elected Buck Leonard. Thank you for learning a little bit more about Buck and Josh, the Thunder Twins.
Hi, I'm Max Martinez. In honor of Black History Month, this is the story of Horatio Rabbit Martinez, my granduncle. Known for his speed, Rabbit earned his nickname from being a threat on the bases. The quick-stepping shortstop grew up in the Dominican Republic and had an outstanding career in the Negro Leagues beginning in 1935 with the New York Cubans. Described as the perfect shortstop, Rabbit's superb defense earned him 5 selections to the Negro League's East-West All-Star games from 1940 through 1945. In his final All-Star game in '45, Rabbit was the only Dominican on either team as his club faced a West squad featuring a rookie named Jackie Robinson. A legacy that transcends far beyond Latin America, Rabbit's effect can still be seen in MLB today. Thanks for learning more about my grand uncle.
Hi, I'm Dr. Harriet Kimbrough Hamilton. In honor of Black History Month, this is the story of Henry Kimbrough, my father. Henry Kimbrough was an outfielder from the late 1930s to the early 1950s. A leadoff hitter for the majority of his career, Kimbrough made a name for himself for his patience at the plate. Playing for the Washington Giants, Baltimore Giants, and the New York Black Yankees, Kimbrough finished among the league leaders in batting average multiple times. He also appeared in 6 East-West All-Star games. Kimbrough spent 2 winters playing for Havana in the Cuban Winter League, winning a batting title and league championship. In 2004, Kimbrough was inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks for learning more about my father.
Hi, I am Ron Teasley in honor of Black History Month. This is my story. At the age of 98, I am the second oldest living player from the Negro Leagues. Growing up in Detroit, I was a standout athlete, which enabled me to get a scholarship to Wayne State University. I was given the name Schoolboy. I earned 2 degrees. I still hold a batting record with a 500 batting average. After serving in the U.S. Navy, I was signed by the Brooklyn Dodgers organization, and I played for the Negro League, New York Cubans. I have fond memories of playing with some of the great players like Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, and Turkey Stearns. During the summer of 2024, my teammates and I were honored at the historic Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. It was truly an exciting day for baseball. Thanks for learning more about my story.